Welcome to the jungle of Hero Wars. Our new Hero Folio is a smart fool who loves to make a mess and splatters his ink everywhere. Luckily he has his own paper for the cleanup. But how strong is Folio? Is he the new god of Hero Wars? Or is this just a bug? He belongs to the Mystic faction and has some new tricks for us. His damage output is quite good and we can use him even tactically. Especially his drawn together skill, and I don't mean the funny series, makes him really interesting for many heroes. And you should not underestimate his power. Let's have a look at Folio's skills. Somehow he has not many skills to do damage. This green skill is one of the damage skills. He makes the nearest enemy unmovable and only for 4 seconds. The damage is with 80,000 magic attack only at 24,000, so pretty low. But once the effect ends, it makes decent area damage. And look at the multiplier, it's his full magic attack, and yes, buffs can increase it. Folio's skills are very well visible and he writes the respective symbol on his wet paper. This is the symbol for his green skill. It hits Anfari, does a little single damage, and we see this golden bound. The only good way I found was to counter Faceless Race. Normally Andvari would move forward, but he can't. 4 seconds are over and we see the nice damage. Unfortunately the area is very small and it doesn't reach even Faceless. The good thing, this skill has a really short cooldown, which makes it still to a good weapon, but you need close standing enemies. His blue skill is interesting. Folio creates a full copy. Nice for absorbing damage and to assist your team, but it has no defensive values, so it gets easily destroyed. The interesting part, for each hit at the Fool, your allies near to him get incredible 1% energy, which is really low. Let's have a look at it. It takes a moment when he uses the skill and the copy spawns at the first position. It takes the damage and provides in a medium range the 1% energy. It can't move, but it can be pushed back and provides for more heroes the additional energy. The cooldown is very long and we have to wait about 30 seconds before we see the next one. We saw the copy's life is dependent on Folio's life and we can increase it with additional mystic heroes. A max folio with a full set bonus can have about 300,000 life points, so the copy can have almost 700,000 life points in a full mystic setup. And finally the second usage. So the cooldown is extremely long. When I read this sentence, it makes directly click in my head. Why? Zisha and Yasmin attack almost the one with the lowest defensive value. Does it work for this copy too? Problem number 1. It gets often destroyed before any ultimate happens. But here we go, and yes, Yasmin attacks him. Nice. What about Zisha? Oh yeah, the mark is on the copy, so it's possible to trick your enemy unreliably. I guess that's what Nexus wants, unpredictable fights. But this copy has another trick, which is pretty nice too. it gets magic penetration and magic attack from Folio, and once you have one additional mystic hero, it will have more than Folio. What can we do with this? If you hate Phobos attack, then watch carefully. The copy has in a full mystic setup probably always the highest magic attack value. Look how Phobos attacks the copy. And the little ticks providing much more energy, so we have here a nice new counter to Phobos. The same for Tristan, he attacks the one with the highest magic penetration and burns his energy. So this copy has a lot of potential. The position at the front is a little bit unlucky for these great tricks. And the bonus energy has a big disadvantage. Sattery. Oh yeah, he smells every kind of bonus energy immediately and he can't wait to release his big fox. Watch how many fox marks appear thanks to this 1%. It's in my opinion more a disadvantage than anything else. But we have another skill. Again an active skill, which means he gains 10% energy for the usage. It looks like it's a new way to go to make the new heroes much more effective. It's a simple debuff and he steals just some intelligence. You might think, wow, it's not much, but it's not bad. About 4000 intelligence means additional 12,000 magic attack for Folio, and he reduces the magic defense of this hero too. The symbol for this skill is the normal intelligence symbol, and he uses it directly at the start. The feather over Martha shows us the debuff. The cooldown of this skill is short and it's even stackable. So Folio increases his own stats and decreases the enemy's stat. A nice ability, and it allows us to do some special moves. The second part of the skill, when the debuff effect ends, all enemies are drawn together to the place where the debuff is located. Dante has the debuff and it ends. Suddenly all enemies are moving in a perfect line to him. This helps really for smaller area attacks, like Antwari's stun. Now you can hit easier all enemies, and of course his green skill benefits by it a lot. His other mystic allies like it too, especially against Octavia, a blessing. Octavia gets also pulled, so the pure damage and the stuns can hit better. The biggest synergy has Maya's rooting ability. It has a short range, does a lot of damage and blocks the movement. Interesting fact, even after Folio's death, his debuff stays. Look at Aiden. And when it ends, the grouping effect still works. The next interesting part, if you remove the debuff, for example with Julius, you don't have to wait. Look at Judge. Feather is applied and it will be removed immediately. The grouping effect starts directly, and it works also for all other removing abilities like from Nebula or Celeste. This grouping effect is also important for his ultimate. Oh yeah, up to 220k for each enemy. Sounds really great. The little problem, he has to channel his attack for 5 seconds, so a lot of time. When he starts using his ultimate, the blood appears in the center and it grows in size every half second. You can see it even 10 times growing. After that it falls down and does area damage. His ultimate can be interrupted, for example with a stun. The blood will just immediately release and the damage depends on its size. The area damage is smaller than I've expected. It doesn't reach Fafnir, for example. So we need the grouping effects to get the maximum out of this skill. The formula has a great multiplier and Nebula's big boost is perfect for this. Look at this damage, wow, over 500,000. Reminds me at Mira's crazy gold explosion. What you have to know, the additional magic attack will only affect your ultimate at the start, but here you can see it clearly. This ultimate is completely without Nebula's buff, 250k damage. Now he starts without buff and gets it during the casting time, but the number is the same. Only when the buff is active before he uses a skill, it will increase the damage, and it doesn't matter if the buff is gone during the casting time. Let's have a look at his stats. Like Nexus announced, he is just a book, so his life points are very low. I saw a completely max one and he has the same health like Yasmin. His magic attack value is already pretty good, and this is of course important for his damage. His armor value is extremely low, so perfect for Yasmin. The 16k magic penetration are already very good. Still too low nowadays, but he has actually not a single skin. The glyphs inspection is important. They will provide a lot of additional stats. The health glyph increases his life by 90,000, and the magic penetration glyph is here very important. It will increase his magic penetration by additional 9,000. His talisman is also very good. We get directly a lot of additional magic attack. The talismans are overall very powerful, especially the main stat based ones. 2000 intelligence are nice. If you are lucky, then you get additional 15,000 magic attack. It's not so life changing, but more is better. And like expected, his weapon artifact is magic attack. It's important to increase his ultimate damage properly. Unfortunately expensive and not easy to get the fragments, because of the new damn hero way. But his book is the most important artifact. We get here a lot of magic penetration, which is necessary to do damage. If you haven't watched my how to do damage video, watch it. The ring is the normal way to increase his main stat, so always good to max it. Here is a good example how he does his damage. The grouping effect is essential and it worked here very good. The timing of his green skill was perfect, so everyone gets the damage and it's not a small hit. Leon's passive interrupted him and the blood drops immediately. But it was enough to get the kill, and other heroes like Lilith and Krista benefit by the grouping synergy too. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. Peace.